Hello, how are you?
Good. How you going?
All right, all right. I haven't actually last time I think I spoke to you in person, we were at an event for Loving, so it's been a minute. Back when you had to do things in person before we stopped doing that for the most part.
I know it's the world's changed, hasn't it?
Very, very, very strange. Some good, mostly not. But I think that it was funny. I was at a thing for this and talking to Clint about it and how with Jockey, everyone saw his movie on a small screen, right? You couldn't go out. And how this
Yeah,
is
because that was Sundance Online because of
yeah.
COVID. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then for this, obviously, more people will ultimately see it streaming, but it is, like, such a movie that rewards seeing it on the big screen just because I think when you don't have the phone with you and you can't get up to refill your drink and you're just kinda in it, right? You can kinda feel whatever you are feeling based on the movie, and I think everyone feels differently. And I think what's so interesting about your performance, which is as good as anything you've ever done, is just you invite that in because you're not doing too much, which I imagine is hard for an actor. The instinct is always to do more, right?
I feel like, yeah, I think the instinct is like, watch me acting.
Yeah.
There's something that Clint has done with this film, and that, is partly obviously thanks to Dennis Johnson, is the film for me, I describe it like it's like a not an entirely blank canvas, but a canvas with enough space on it that the audience can sort of paint a portrait of their own life
Yeah.
alongside Robert's, or a mirror that reflects their own experience. And within the silence and within the breathing space of the film, the audience can reflect on how much their world is not that far away from Robert's, and how much their um, life experience is not that far away. When we're dealing with love and parenthood and loss and grief, and the confusion around how do you marry life and work, family and work together. These are all very real life things, and there we can watch this ordinary person move through life. And are we not, most of us, considering ourselves not the movers and shakers of the world we live in?
I think the thing that I feel that 100% because I was like deeply sad at the end of the movie, and not because I felt like I watched a sad movie, right? But because it's so open to whatever you're feeling, you can feel like, well, I feel like there's a tragedy here of some kind, but you can also watch it and go, that's a life well lived. Like not a lot of us get that life anymore, and I think watching you do it. The other movie that I think this stands tall with from you is Warrior. Again, like very average person thrust into the bigger world, right? And still is themselves. Like the thing about Robert is last scene in the movie, he's still Robert. There's not necessarily a greater understanding of the world. There's, oh, I lived my life. And what that means, what you feel, what I feel is both right. And also, there is no right answer.
Yeah, it's funny. Some people find it really, really, really sad, and other people see the hopefulness through the sadness. Is that I think Clint says it beautifully when he says, sometimes in life we realize we've just got to get up and put one foot in front of the other. And that's helped often by the kindness of strangers, which is another big theme of the film, is that the way we can rely on each other's uh, goodwill and humanity to
Yeah.
help us get through life, community versus separating from the world. And I just think the movie has a purity that reminds us how good we can be as people, how worthwhile life is, even when it's tough.
Yeah.
Someone once stood up in the front row after a Q&A and said, I just want to go home and hug my wife and my kids.
Yeah.
And that's the way it made me feel in an objective way when I first saw it. I was like, oh, I've got to be more present to the beauty of the things I have right now, lest one day I look back and realize I didn't hold on to them well enough,
Oh, yeah.
carefully.
So yeah, and you got to be an actor in the woods in nature, just like that's better than being on a set. That's better than being in like a building. So good for
And
the
I
soul.
got, I got to be a lumberjack. I was like, some beautiful person on Letterboxd summed up the movie by saying just one line. It just said, "He's a lumberjack and he's okay."
Oh, amazing.
It's
Well,
something about
I
being
love
okay with all the things in life.
and that song will be in my head all day now, so thank you slash now. Always a pleasure to talk to you. You should be so proud of this, and I love that for a full year, people have, like, come to it organically. It wasn't, like, a forced upon thing. Everyone just embraces it naturally, so what more
Look,
can you ask?
I'm proud to think that I my instinct is that this film will live for such a long time and hold up for years to come as something really, really special, and I got to be a part of it, and I'm so happy, to have had Clint come into my life because it's definitely one of the most personal and special experiences I've ever had the pleasure of being part of.
Totally. Thank you so much, man.